Welcome to the morning crowd episode. I don't know what we're doing anymore. I think I should probably start counting these, but I need to, we'll figure that out in the long term here. So we're going to do one more morning crowd episode, and we're going to talk about Paris and their rumored changes, but they've made some official things. They dropped Decimate. We'll get into that soon. And then we'll do some match predictions. And then since this is a shorter episode and I'm not analyzing like every single match like in depth, we'll just do some questions from the chat and we'll just have like a general conversation. Maybe we'll go on Reddit and just talk about some of the better or just more fun topics to talk about too. So we'll get into that. So I hope you guys are having a good morning. And let's do this right here. As you guys can see from what you're reading on your screen, Paris Legion. Today we say thank you and goodbye to Decimate for his time serving on the Legion, wishing him nothing but the best going forward. Paris was obviously rumored. Again, I'm going to say rumored because I don't know anything 100% that's official, and so don't take that like, with Crowder saying that this is 100% true. But there's been rumors that they were dropping Decimate, and there's been rumors that they're picking up people, and like they're picking up TomGRVTY and other people and stuff. Like no one really knows 100% like what's happening. And then obviously I'm pretty sure Tom tweeted out like the contract being signed, GIF, and all that. So this is the first official move from Paris Legion where Paris drops Decimate and they are now not with him. So they are, saying goodbye to Deci. And I don't know. What do you guys think of this? Obviously, personally, I'm going to just be, transparent. Paris needed a change. Paris was like, I've been on this morning crowd thing. I've defended them in the sense where I said they should definitely be doing better than they are, but at the end of the day, you can't play this league and just keep doing bad and hoping for something to change. Like this is a very fast-paced league in the sense where if you're not doing good, you're probably gonna get they're probably gonna make a switch or two, and it's just because you don't want to start off like as non-important as league matches are. They're also so important at the same time. Like you can lose a league match. It's not the end of the world, especially if you're doing whatever you're doing, trying some maps or practicing or whatever it is. It's not the end of the world. But like, if you start, 0-6, 0-5, 0-4, that's where it starts to become scary because then you can end up having a really bad seed just for the rest of the year. You know what I mean? You don't want to have a bad seed for the rest of the year, like going into champs and all that, because that will end up screwing you. As we saw like last year with some teams, and I don't know if all teams make champs this year. I am not super familiar with the format. Maybe one of you guys know that more. But last year you didn't even make champs potentially. You know what I mean? If you were obviously a bad seed, so you just don't want to be shit. And Paris was underperforming super. Do you guys think this is the right move? I'm curious. I want to see what people are saying in the chat. Do you think this is the right move or what? They do all 12 make it this year? Okay. Either way, though, you still don't want to be like the 12th seed going into champs. If Vito's not in your favor and a bunch of other things, like, you're going to have a harder run. It's just not where you want to be ever. You do not want to be on the bottom of the barrel team going into champs. You want to do everything you can to avoid that, All right. So let's see what you guys say. Do you guys think this is the right change? I'm curious. Yes, he's a good guy. Okay. Yeah, it has nothing to do with him being a good guy though. I'm talking straight like COD right now. Do you think this is like Deci is a good dude? I'm cool with Deci, but like I'm saying, like do you think he was the one that needed to be dropped? People said John deserved dropping more than Fellow or Deci. Keep Temp and Deci. Just kind of seeing what you guys would. I only know John and Deci, so I don't know who else would go. I think Fellow has to be dropped. Tom deserved to pick up for sure. We'll talk about Tom in a second. Not convinced the chemistry is right at Paris. Changes required, but not sure what they needed to fix. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna be like where I'm at right now. So personally, if you ask me about the roster, I think Temp is very good. I think he's very talented, and I personally think Temp is very talented with both roles, obviously. But when he runs like more of a flex / like a heavier AR role, like in the sense of being a flex, but he's using the AR a lot more, I think he's like really, really good. So if I remember correctly, I know Paris changed their roles a couple of times. Like Fellow was running a lot of AR, and if not, he was their main AR for a little bit. And Fellow personally has always been in the league as like a submachine gun type player. And that's how I've always viewed Fellow, like from my eyes. Like if I was gonna pick up Fellow, he is not going to be my main AR. He is going to be my submachine gun. He is going to be my aggressor. He's going to be the person that's running at you and being annoying. And it's not even about running at you and dropping like a 1.2 KD with a sub, saying like, you know, he's going like MVP mode. It's just the fact that he's going to be annoying in your base, and he's got talent where if you're running into him, he's not an easy kill. You know what I mean? So I never liked when Fellow was on the main AR, and it had nothing to do with him being able to do it in the sense of him doing good or bad in the AR role. It's just, I feel like the way he plays the submachine gun role just fits more, especially for this game. You know, this game is like super aggressive. So I think Fellow, I know people are giving people like shit, say like Fellow's got to go and stuff. I wouldn't say anything about him yet until you see how he runs the sub role. If what these rumored changes are true, I'm assuming that Fellow is going to take more of a backseat in the AR world and kind of start running a sub more and probably be alongside John. And if that's the case, then after how, you know, this works out, then you can obviously make more of an assumption on him. So I'm curious to see how he plays, because I think Fellow's good. He's got a good search and destroy IQ. He's definitely not a bad submachine gun in the sense like he knows how to get in your base and be annoying, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if this change is going to like completely change them, but at the same time, like the way I would view it now, going into like the further detail now, not just about Decimate, is I think I think slowly, you know, forming like a new roster to build around if you're Paris is probably the play, right? Like they didn't do very good last year. I don't think they did good the year before that. And now like here they are again, like not doing good. I think you just need to start finding a new recipe to build around. And personally, if I was, you know, I would definitely try and build around Temp and then whatever, you know, like, and then figure out like what's going on from there. I know people are giving John a lot of flack too. Again, I think with that being said, John hasn't been playing his best. I know he played pretty good against us, but I'm not too sure how he played for the rest of the season. I can actually probably bring that up. Let's see. Pretty sure this page has statistics. Pretty sure they do. Oh, they do. I'm pretty sure this is series history. Yeah, this is everything. Here we go. This is a really good website, by the way. If you guys don't know what it is, it's breakingpoint.gg. Here we go. So right here, you can see like the Paris Legion. They're obviously not winning very much. But yeah, so you can just like see like the KDs. You can see like whatever you want to see just in general. And like, yeah, John has like a 0.78 overall KD in hardpoint, and he has a 1.05 overall in control. So they're a good control team. Like, you know, they're 3-3 in control. They just need to fix their searches and their hardpoint if they want to become more of a team that, you know, can start winning series. I don't know. I mean, yeah, John having a 0.78 KD, no matter like what you're doing or how your team's doing, you always want to try to be playing better than that. And obviously this team's kind of broken. So if I could take a guess, John is a smart COD player. I've known John for a while. John knows how to play COD. He knows the right ways to go. He knows how to get your trades. He knows how to, you know, he knows how to play the team game of Call of Duty, and that's very important. The other side of things, though, is like obviously you have to be doing better than a 0.78. But with this roster and them just not maybe getting along and just probably getting shitty practice, and obviously they're not doing good, they're probably going with the benefit of the doubt that behind the scenes, John's been a pretty good teammate. John's been a pretty good dude, and he's putting in the effort to like try and get better as a team. There's a lot more issues going on than just kills, in my opinion, for this team to work. So that's probably why they're keeping John again. So this is probably another, you know, lifeline for John, where it's like now that they're potentially making this change, if this is obviously true and this rumored thing becomes true, that he needs to step it up too. So I think it's going to be like one step at a time for this Paris Legion team, and kind of see how they go from there. You know what I mean? So they're making the right steps. It's not just going to be like a snap of a finger. All of a sudden, Paris Legion is just dominant. But that's kind of how you have to take it right now. You have to like try and like, you know, find like what you need to change to make your team work again, like right away. So I personally have faith in John in the sense I think he's a really good player. I think he's struggling right now, but I think he is a good player. So he can definitely turn it around. But the thing is he's going to need to. You know what I mean? He's going to need to. So I see why people are giving him slack, but I really do think he is a good player. And even I remember when he came back into the league last year, Cap, like JCap, their coach, 100 Thieves coach or LA Thieves coach, like was so high on how good John was in the sense of just like being good at the game, like in the sense of just being good at Call of Duty, going to the right way, being in the right areas of the map at the right time, and just like doing what he needed to do. So again, he knows what he needs to do, and now it's just like trying to get him in the atmosphere of you know, being on a team that's just more in a motivated spot, you know. So I'm excited to see how he plays, and I'm excited to see how Fellow plays now with the sub. This is obviously more of, you know, a second chance for all these guys now to step it up. I don't think Temp is going to go anywhere with this Paris team, if you're asking me. I think Temp is very good. I think especially if he's especially if Temp is going back to, you know, more of an AR role too. I think he's just really good in general. I don't think he's going anywhere, and I wouldn't get rid of him personally. So that's my take on like their team. It sucks that Decimate had to go. This was definitely probably a chemistry issue too. I'm sure they were not getting along behind the scenes as well. You know, I think attitudes and personality clashes and other stuff probably has a lot to do with this as well, where people weren't seeing eye to eye. And if you don't see eye to eye in this league and you're not getting good practice, you're getting worse. And if you're getting worse, you can't afford that. So I'm excited. I don't know where Decimate will go. Obviously, Decimate's had probably a rough couple opportunities the last couple times he's been playing, and so we'll see where he goes. But if the rumor changes, now we'll talk about the rumor changes here, right? Donnie will go to a sub, I reckon. Wait, why would he go to a sub? The way I see this change is I see they get rid of Decimate. I think if they're picking up rumored Tom, I don't think Donnie goes to a sub at all. I think Donnie becomes their flex. I think Fellow should be their sub, personally. I think Fellow should be their sub, personally, if you're asking me. The reason why is I love how good Temp is on an AR and a sub, so I want to let him use... rumors you heard Fellow's on the flex. Oh, maybe he is. I don't know. But I would like to see Donnie on the flex, just because I feel like Temp is so talented, where on AR maps, let him AR. On sub maps, let him sub, you know? And let him just be the fucking beast that he is. But at the same time, if he goes to full-time sub, he goes to full-time sub too. But this game's also weird though, because he's gonna be the third AR, right? Most likely, and John's gonna be the full-time sub. So on Gavutu, he's gonna run a third AR. On Berlin, if they ever run 3 ARs on certain setups, he's going to be the third AR. So he's going to be like the second flex. It's like what Simp does for us right now. Like Simp runs our third AR on Gavutu, and, you know, then he runs our third AR if he ever needs to pull it out on Berlin. It's just weird. Like Abizi's obviously our full-time sub, and even sometimes Abizi pulls out an AR on Gavutu. So it's like, I still think, I guess, yeah, if Fellow goes to a flex role, the role doesn't really matter, to be honest. Roles in Call of Duty also, in that sense, don't matter, because like, yeah, it's kind of weird. This game's got a weird setup on some of these maps. So I guess what I'm saying kind of even happens. Donnie will, Temp will use an AR more, and then he'll also use a sub more. So yeah, I guess I'm just tripping. But yeah, anyway, talking about the rumored changes here. Apparently they're rumored to be picking up TomGRVTY. I don't know if this is true. This is just because Tom tweeted out that thing with his contract thing, and people are all been saying that they're picking up Tom for Decimate and all this. And I don't know if you guys know who TomGRVTY is. I think TomGRVTY is very good. If you guys obviously know my history of TomGRVTY, you know he's a friend of mine, so I can be biased when I say this. So I'm just making that very clear. But I usually try not to be super biased on this, even against my own team, if you guys know that by watching the recent episodes. I truly do think Tom deserves to be in the league, and it's not because he's my friend. I think he is a good AR. He can use a sub. We have scrimmed against Tom a lot. He was our substitute player in MW. So he's taken part of a lot of our VOD sessions, in the sense where, like, when my team's going over VOD, he has been there with us, and he's actually put it to the input before, you know, even like in Cold War, he would, like, you know, hang around sometimes, even when he wasn't a part of our team anymore. And he's done a lot of, he's had a lot of success in the Challengers world in the sense of wins. He knows how to play Call of Duty, and he is a very, very high IQ player when it comes to, like, being able to look at a VOD, interpret it, and be like, okay, we need to start doing this, this, and that, because this shit's not working. You know, like, I've worked with him before, and I think he's a very, very good mind in Call of Duty. And I think that's like really, really important in this league to be on the same page and be able to like, you know, kind of see that. But just in general, as the AR player, if he is going to be that, I think he is 100% a deserving spot as an AR player in this league. I think he's very consistent. I think he knows what to do. I think he's very good at the game. Like, yeah, like he's not going to really, for the most part, go in there and just get absolutely slammed. Like, I think he's good. I think he deserves to be in this league. And I think the reason why he hasn't really been in this league like earlier is because he is an AR player for the most part, and he can still use a submachine gun. But it's very hard to break into this league as an AR player because, like, look at all the teams right now. Look at all the ARs in this league. Where, you know, the league needs subs. You know what I'm saying? The league needs more fast-paced subs to, like, you know, keep up with fucking the crackheads that are playing Call of Duty today. Like, you know, all the fast-paced players and stuff. You're not really in need. Like, a lot of teams aren't in need of a main AR, if you really think about it, right? Like, especially a lot of the top teams. So it's harder for an AR to get in the league right now than it is for a sub. So he's been doing pretty well for a while, and I'm super excited to see him, if this rumored thing is true and like he actually gets his chance, which I think he's fully deserving of. I think he'll kill it. So I'm excited. And then I think this Paris team goes from there. If they are, you know, 100% with this like rumor, they probably still play. They probably don't do amazing because there's probably still some more issues that is more than just a one-man change, and then they slowly start making changes from there to, like, you know, kind of start building a new floor plan for, you know, for that team. So I'm excited. I think they will get a little better just off the sense of their chemistry was probably off anyway, and they'll probably get some better practice. I don't know if this will change anything officially in the sense of them getting way better, but I think this is a really big start.
Do you feel Theory should be brought up more in the discussion of Paris? What do you mean? What do you mean by that, Royce? Be held accountable?
Man, so it's tough, dude. Like, I understand where people come from that, and I don't think so. It depends. I don't think Theory needs to be held accountable because, like, it's just tough, dude. Because Theory isn't the one with the money, right? And he's so Theory's not the one with the money making decisions and saying, like, I want to go get this player, this player, this player. You have to remember that, like, he can't just get the pick of his freaking, you know, like, you know, pick of the litter. Like, he's got a very he's not in the easiest position to, like, you know, make a team where, like, he's not going to get the number one picks of all he wants, right? And then he's got to try and make something work. And of course, I can see where criticism can come there, but he's a pretty smart dude when it comes to Call of Duty, and, like, I'm sure he's putting in a lot of effort. From his tweets and stuff, it looks like he cares a lot as well. I just think, like, they've been in a tough situation that's more than just, you know, a coach, like, you know, a coaching issue or anything of the sort. I think they just need to get a better floor plan. I feel like a lot of the rosters that they've formed throughout the years have been just so, like, wonky and roles, and, like, kind of like, I don't know if this role is gonna work, and, like, you know, fellow on a main AR is kind of confused, you know, say, like, things like that. So I don't think you should really criticize Theory right now. I think criticism to him, if it would ever get there, would come later, once they get, like, a team that, like, you know, more or less could be doing way better, you know what I mean? And they're not. I don't know. Like, I think there's been more issues than just coaching. I think there's been more issues than just talent too. I think it's just, like, the roles don't work. Like, the roles in general, like, the players alone don't really work together. They don't fit the mold. And then, like, there's probably personality clashes and stuff as well. So I personally think he's fine right now. I wouldn't blame him, to be honest with you. So the one thing I see in the chat is I find it very weird that Skrapz isn't in the league. From Black Ops 4 to now, I don't know, dude. Like, Skrapz is pretty fucking good, dude. Like, Skrapz is pretty fucking good. So I don't know what happened there. But again, that could be... I have no idea. I haven't talked to Maddie in a while. Maddie's a really good dude. I love Maddie. I actually wish I talked to him more because he's funny as shit. But maybe that was a money thing. You know, maybe there was, like, you know, the contract just wasn't there for him. Like, there had to have been something there where you just, I don't know. That had to be something more than just, like, obviously talent. We all know that. Skrapz should be in the league because of talent. So there was probably something else there that happened. If I could take a guess, I could be wrong, and maybe they made a wrong decision. If they decided not to keep Skrapz just in general as a COD player, I think that's a wrong decision. So I don't think they would have made that decision. I think that had to be more than that. But all right, match predictions. Just quick. I'm not gonna do my match. I never do. Clearly biased, whatever. So my thing is London in the sense of like how they've been playing definitely look good, right? Like they definitely look good if you're London Royal Ravens, and they've been playing well. Their hard point right now in general looks pretty good. They're 6-4 in hard point. They're 3-4 in search, and they're 4-2 in control. So like with that being said, like they're a good team. They look good. They've been winning their matches, and everything else, has been going well for them. The thing with LAG is I think probably London's looking a little bit more favored, but LAG is 7-4 in hard point. They're 2-6 in search and 2-4 in control. So like if you're just looking at those stats alone, it definitely means that like London has the upper hand, and in my opinion, it's due to control. I think like the thing is London's good at hardpoint, but so is LAG. So both of these teams are going to have a pretty mixy hardpoint. The hardpoints can go either way, in my opinion. I think both teams are going to be good. London can come out and absolutely fry you in hardpoint. We've seen it happen before, but LAG is not a bad hardpoint team, and they can easily respond. I think right now both of these teams are struggling in S&D, and with them being struggling in S&D, London's struggling a little bit less at S&D than LAG is. So you would think if LAG hasn't gotten any better S&D and the control, the Gorillas are looking like a little bit scary. But at the same time, I'm sure they have gotten better. Can London be Landon? I mean, we'll have to see. So I would give the edge to London, but I don't know. Every time I make a prediction, I swear I'm wrong. So every time I go off of what's going on, like the other team bounces back and looks incredible at the game mode that they're not supposed to. London have a good record in winning control, even if they don't pick the map. That's what London's 4-2 in control. London looks really good in control. They're 3-0 in Gavutu, and they're 1-2 in Tuscan. Like London is a good control team. So with that, this should go to London in just the way it's looking. I don't know if LIG's gotten any better at S&D. I think that's going to be their savior, because if they can win the hard point, and or if they lose the hard point and they're 0-1 and they're playing search, they're looking like an 0-2. There's gonna be a close match. I'm gonna say 3-2. I'm gonna say 3-2, and I'm gonna say 3-2, and I think I'm gonna go. Oh, I don't know. I want to say London, dude. I think 3-2, and I think it's gonna be London, but I think it's gonna be a close ass fucking series, because I think the hard points are gonna be a toss up between these two teams. I think they're both really good at hard point, and they're gonna have a battle. Most likely, one will win their veto, one will win their veto. 1-1 in hard point and vetoes most of the time. Maybe not. We'll see. But I think the search is gonna go to London, and I'm hoping LAG gets a little better at control. And who's the higher seed? London. So London's gonna play. So really quick. Most likely, this is going to be a Gavutu control if it's London with the higher seed. And they're 3-0 in control. Oh, man. This is tough. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Is it coin flip, actually? No, I thought it goes by seed. Doesn't it go by seed? Doesn't it go by seed? It should go by seed, right? Because we get to pick our controls for the whole entire thing because we're the first seed, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah, based on what I just said, it should be London 3-1, but I'm thinking 3-2. I think Gorillas practice goes a long way. I think they make up for it, and I think they push to game 5, but I don't know if it'll be a game 5 in their favor. I think they're both good teams, though. I just think right now 2 and 3 game modes 2 and 3 for Gorillas has been struggling, so it's kind of hard to bet on them. So I think they're gonna push to game 5. All right, yeah, coin flip for the winner though. This is gonna be a really good match, in my opinion. I think if anyone's going to come out and just destroy the other team, though, I think I would lean towards the London Royal Ravens to do so, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm excited for that one. Dude, these matches are really fucking good. Boston Breach versus Atlanta FaZe. I'm skipping. Alrighty. Toronto Ultra versus LA Thieves. Who do you guys got, chat? This is going to be another banger matchup, dude. Who do you guys got? I love this. This is fucking hype. That's what I mean, bro. The fact that, like, I'm sitting here and I'm, like, on the fence because both teams are so fucking good. Like, dude... Even before we go into anything, like, dude, like, LAG on LAN, like everyone says, like, Slasher on LAN, all these things, like, they should be so fucking good. So, dude, I'm excited. But, all right. Ultra 3-2, Ultra. Really? I'm seeing a lot more Ultras than I'm seeing Thieves right now. Okay, here's a couple Thieves, LAT. Oof, man. I don't know, dude. I'll say one thing.
Thieves is a good team, very obviously, right? And the last time they matched up, it was a weird series because I don't know, like they came out. Toronto Ultra came out and slammed the shit out of Thieves on what Bocage, right? And then after that, Thieves was like, "All right, we're good," and they just won the next 3. If I remember right, that's how that series went. Let me see. I think I can actually see that. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's how that series went. So my thing is just like Toronto Ultra historically on LAN, right, and just in general have been very good. Last year, this year, on LAN, when it matters, they always regain and they always bring it back. Even when they went up 4-0 and they got reverse swept in the fucking finals, losing 5 straight, they bounced back and they're in the finals of champs. Like this Toronto Ultra team has like the composure of like any team that you just never seen. So like you're giving them the composure and the experience and like the LAN vibe, right? That's what a lot of people want to do. My thing though is like, I don't know, dude. This Thieves team is 13-3 in hardpoint. Their hardpoint looks incredible. They have not played Berlin hardpoint, right? And that's just going to be a tough match. And like Toronto's like thing with Toronto is Toronto's 3-0 in Berlin. Thieves is gonna veto Berlin, right? Most likely. I'm taking guesses here, obviously. This is just like me talking as like right now I'm talking as a fan, like as a fucking dedicated fan right now. That's like how I'm viewing this. You're assuming Thieves vetoes Berlin against Toronto and they're 3-0 in Berlin, and so Thieves doesn't play Berlin, so their map pool versus Toronto and hardpoints usually looks good. So then you go to the next fucking map. Toronto probably vetoes what? Gavutu against this team or Tuscan, because you're either 4-0 on Gavutu if you're Thieves, or you're 5-1 on Tuscan if you're Thieves. So either one of those maps is like picking your poison. They're good at both maps, right? So what would you rather play against this LA Thieves team? And the thing is, it's not like right now, if you go to the Toronto stats, it's not like right now. Actually, I can just bring these stats up really quick too. Let me just bring these stats up. I don't know why I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. So you go to these Toronto stats, right? And like you're just like looking. It's not like right now you have like, it would be different if like they had like a lights out map on Gavutu and Tuscan where like they can play them against Thieves and be confident. You know what I mean? Like when we played Tuscan against Thieves, for example, we're also a very good Tuscan team. We lost by like what, 2 points? It was that crazy like end game, you know, BZ threw the fighter pilot down and then Envoy pinched and like the, you know, the crazy ass ending. It's like, it's not like, you know, may the better Tuscan team win because like you're both, it's like not two Titans clashing there. They're not going to play a map like that against Thieves. So like Toronto's map pool right now looks tough in the hard points. So you think like, yeah, LA Thieves gets rid of them. I'm assuming after last match, Thieves probably responds and gets rid of Bocage. I mean, sorry, what's it called? They, Toronto gets rid of probably like Tuscan or Gavutu. You're going to get another Bocage Tuscan or Bocage Gavutu. Like, oof, I don't know. The thing is, Thieves is not that great at Bocage in the sense like that's the map that they seem to be losing the most. So yeah, I don't know. I think right now the hard points favor Thieves. This should be a good one. We'll see how they go because I don't think Thieves is going to veto Bocage even though they got slammed on it last time because they don't want to play Berlin against probably a 3-0 Berlin team, right? So I don't know. We'll see. This is gonna be tough. If you can beat a team on their strongest map, that would be a big mental blow in your favor. So that's what I was gonna say next. The last thing I'll talk about these hard points before I go to the next 2 modes with this team is, bro. If you're Toronto Ultra right now, to say you know it looks like Thieves is favored in hard points, right? Thieves is most likely going to veto Berlin on you. They're probably going to end up being forced to play Bocage. And again, they've lost 2 Bocages, but they're still also 4-2 in Bocage. So they're not terrible at Bocage. They're good. If you're Toronto, you're going to need to probably, you're like, you know, if you play Bocage map 1, that's fine again, then you win. That's good. But like if the series goes in the other way where they start on a Gavutu or a Tuscan, if they win a Gavutu or a Tuscan against Thieves, they're in the driver's seat for the series. So like this series, if it starts off, most likely I'm pretty sure Thieves is the higher seed than Toronto, right? Is Thieves the higher seed than Toronto right now? Let me see. Do we know the standings right now? Yeah, so right now Thieves is the higher seed than no, they're not. They're not. How is Thieves 6? Wait, what? There's no way. This has to be wrong, right? This is definitely wrong. What's the seeds? Yeah, the breaking point's wrong right now. Yeah, okay, that's what I said. I was gonna say no fucking way, bro. Toronto Thieves is 4-1. All right, I wanted to double check, and then I just saw something that said the opposite, and then, okay, thank you. All right, so yeah, LA second. So you're gonna get Gavutu or Tuscan map 1 if you're Toronto, most likely, because they're gonna be team A.
Oh, what?
Oh my god, bro.
What?
All right, dude. Anyway, fucking Symphony's in my goddamn Discord, dude. Dude, he literally scared the fuck out of me. I think fucking Thieves is gonna get I think Thieves is gonna get Gavutu or Tuscan, and I think 100% Gavutu or Tuscan is gonna fucking be that. So Toronto has to take that map, bro. Symphony just threw me off my fucking thing so much. Fucking moron's just sitting there sneezing in the fucking Discord, dude. I don't even know if he knows I'm in there. But that's the biggest thing for them. That's just the biggest thing for them. Holy shit, that scared me. Okay. Going to the next game mode, though, for this team is if Toronto takes the map 1, they win. If they don't, they fucking lose. But moving to the searches, this is like where this series gets interesting. Is when Toronto won that Bocage versus Thieves, you thought like Thieves is in a pretty like So yeah, you thought that like, you know, Thieves are gonna get smoked in the search and destroyed by Toronto, but Toronto doesn't look that good in search either. They're 5-5. So I don't know. I think Toronto's in the driver's seat if they win that first hard point. If it's Thieves' pick, so it's not a Bocage, say if they win a Tuscan in that, and it goes from there. Their searches are pretty even. That's more of a toss-up, and then their controls is where like, you know, Thieves is gonna get the control they want to play. They're gonna get Gavutu control. Toronto's 2-1 in Gavutu. Toronto's 2-0 in Gavutu control though. So this is gonna be a tough series. We'll see. So this should be a toss up. I think I'm gonna favor Thieves though, in the sense their hardpoint pool is just better. I wouldn't count out Toronto though, just because Toronto historically with the composure and they always get way better in practice. Like Toronto really uses their practice in a good way. I would be surprised if Toronto shows up to this LAN and sucks at S&D. I really would. I would be very surprised if they show up to this LAN and they are not good at S&D yet. So I think this is going to get pushed in the sense where I think Toronto's going to take game 1 or game 3, one of the two, potentially, even though the stats don't look like it would work. And then I think Toronto's going to push a game 5. I think Thieves is going to win this. I'm not counting out Toronto, but I do think Thieves is going to win a close series. I don't know. Dude, these matches are so fucking good. So it's tough, but I think Thieves is gonna take this one personally. But I wouldn't count out Toronto, but we'll see. Now this is the big one. This is what all you guys want to hear about. This is what I hear about. This is what I'm gonna hear about. And regardless, by the way, if Toronto and or Thieves lose, I think they make a run through the losers bracket most likely. So I don't think, unless they play like another absolute Titan team that ends up dropping into the losers, most likely they should make a run. So this is the good one right here. Seattle Surge versus Optic. What do you guys think, chat? What do you guys think? Hold up. All right, let me just get the Optic Texas stats up here and the Seattle stats, and then we can X that out. Bring Seattle Surge. Bring this one there. Okay. Let's see what we're working with in here. Surge, Texas. All right, yeah, that's what I figured. So really quick, if you're looking at qualifiers, Seattle Surge starts off 3-0. Then they go 0-2. 0-3, 1-3. So Seattle Surge went woo, right back down, right? So they're looking like they're more on like a decline, a slight decline. Obviously not like a major fall off or anything, but they look like they're struggling. Optic starts off down here, but then they start to, go back up, right? So their momentum's looking in their favor. So they did like a little bit of the opposite here. My thing is Texas looks good. They 3-1 Boston in like dominant fashion, right? Like they beat Boston pretty bad. They beat Toronto. That series was obviously a little weird with, the GA thing, but still they beat them. They still look pretty good. They looked good against them. So, and then Paris, they 3-0 Paris. Everyone, they should have 3-0'd Paris. They played well. Like, that's it. Like, they're a good team, and they played Paris they played good that day, and Paris didn't play good. They 3-0'd them. That makes sense. So, the big highlight to me is Sib knows all your play. What? What are you talking about, H Dodge? Sib knows all your players? What do you mean? The thing here is like, so yeah, this is all going to come down to how Seattle uses their practice, right? Seattle needs to use their practice and make it really, really, really good, because they don't look very good in their last 2 matches. They're not looking that, their hard points kind of declining a little bit. The scary thing if you're Seattle is they're 0-2 in Berlin and they're 0-3 in GVU2. You have 2 maps where you're winless right now. If that's the case, you're probably going to get one of those maps in a series, right? Although I don't know, I'd have to look at Texas's map pool. You never want almost like a guarantee or a statistic saying that you've never won this map yet, right? Like in a series. So this is where it's scary. I think Texas looks really good. They're 0-2 in Berlin. They're 3-0 in Bocage. They're 0-2 in GVU2 though. So like they're in the same boat here, these teams. They're both 0-0. Like, you might get a Bocage Tuscan versus both of these teams. 3-0, 2-1. Like, you see? I think they're saying that Sib knows your playbook. Bro, what? How does Sib know our playbook? I'm so confused. Sib is on Seattle Surge. He was our substitute last year, but Sib, guys, hello? Sib is not on Atlanta FaZe anymore. He hasn't been. He's on Seattle Surge. He does not know our playbook at all. Okay. All right. Moving forward. Jesus. So yeah, this is where I think you're gonna see a Bocage Tuscan probably from both teams. The thing for me is, do you think Seattle wants to play Bocage versus Texas because they're 3-0 on it, or do they get rid of it and they go and take their chances on GVU2 or Berlin versus team? Like, I could see Seattle trying to really play like, Berlin or something of that sort, and then trying to get a Tuscan. Seattle wants to play Tuscan. They're 4-1. They're 2-1. They're good at this Tuscan too. You think that this team, if you're Seattle, you want to square up, right? 2-1, 4-1. You want to square up on Tuscan, but you don't want to square up on Bocage. So maybe you throw a loop here and you get rid of Bocage and you play Berlin and GVU2, even though you're 0-2. Maybe you're looking good in scrims on the map. You know what I mean? So we're either going to see a square up of their best maps, or I think Seattle throws a curveball and gets rid of Bocage. That's my predictions on this. I think right now Texas is in the favor in the sense of how they've been looking. So, you got to give them that favor, but we'll see. Seattle can be a dominant team when they're playing good. Kendo, thank you for the 13 months. And moving to the S&Ds, Seattle, so 8-3 for Seattle, 4-4 for Texas. This is where Seattle's got a really deep map pool, and Texas is looking like on the fence here, right? They've lost a couple round 11s. They still don't look bad at S&D, but this is where Seattle's going to try and get their game back. It's Optics pick. No? Yeah, no, you're definitely going to get so Optics team A, right? Say they veto GVU2. I don't know. They veto GVU2. Seattle vetoes Bocage. They're going to pick Tuscan. So it's going to be Tuscan map 1. Or it's, what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to pick Berlin. Like, Berlin would be map 4. But I'm saying, if you can push it to that map 4 and play maybe not Bocage, and say you play Berlin as like a curveball, it might be different. I'm not saying that Berlin would be map 1 ever in the series. It's probably not going to be. But I was just saying, like, I think that's like where you could throw a curveball if you're Seattle. I'm not really sure. I was just kind of messing with the vetoes right now. I could be so wrong, by the way. Because at the end of all this, really quick, like a quick disclaimer, these are obviously stats for matches. But like, what if Seattle and scrims for the last like week and a half has been like 15-0 in GVU2? They're probably going to try and play GVU2, and then everyone's going to be like, you're 0-3 in GVU2, what the fuck you doing? But they're 15-0 in scrims in it. That's probably their best map, you know what I mean? So things could change. Higher seed gets first veto and first map pick, yes. If they choose Team A, yes, Jeezy. So I'm assuming we're going to see Tuscan map 1, in my opinion. I think we're going to see Tuscan map 1, and I think it's going to be I think this is going to really be a big map to start the series. If Seattle can take map 1, they're looking really good in S&D. I think they're in a good series, to have that in their favor. But Texas looks really good as well, and I think they've been on the momentum swing of up, and I think they've been getting better. So I don't think that's going to be as easy as easier said than done. Searches wise though, even though Texas is 4-4, in my opinion, I think Texas is a good S&D team still. I think they've lost S&Ds, but I think, you know, they've lost some close ones, and I think they've been getting better. I think Optic will pick Bocage map 1 if it's in. What I was just saying is I think Seattle might get rid of Bocage, in my opinion, potentially. It's either they're gonna square up Bocage Tuscan, or they're gonna get rid of Bocage and pick Berlin. That's my thing. So I think Tuscan map 1 is gonna happen, but if they don't veto Bocage, then it's gonna be Bocage. I agree with that. Is there a benefit of choosing Team B? Right now, teams probably aren't good enough at control yet at both maps, but say if you were really good at both controls, like for example, our team last year, we were really good at all the controls. We would have just like said like, yeah, you can pick whatever control you want. We don't really care. You know what I'm saying? Like it wouldn't have bothered us. But right now, I don't think so. We'll see. If teams get a little bit more developed in the future, we'll see. So yeah, Optic is 2 round 11s from being right 6-2 in search. That's what I was thinking. I thought it was 2 of them. So yeah, that's what I mean. So Optic's still a good S&D team. This is the big thing for me. Is this control? This is like the big thing on the series. Is can you pull up the pick ban rules? I don't know where that are they on breaking point. I don't know exactly where they'd be. I can probably find them for you guys. But this is like the big thing for them. Look at this record. They're 4-1 in Tuscan, and they're 1-0 in Gavutu. They beat Boston Breach on Gavutu, who's not the strongest Gavutu control team, but they still won it, and they won it in dominant fashion. But they're 4-1 in Tuscan, so obviously they're gonna be Team A, and they're gonna pick Tuscan. You go back to Seattle's stat, they're 2-2 in Tuscan. This is like the Optic like bread and butter, in my opinion, to win this series. Like no matter what happens in the maps, like even if they somehow started off slow in the series, I think Optic will automatically force a game 5 or automatically force like a long series with this control. And I think control is such an important game mode that people kind of overlook sometimes. So I think right here, like this is what you're looking at. I think Optic has got the favor. I think Optic's going to win this series personally. I do think Seattle can easily bounce back and be a really, really good team. I'm just giving Optic the benefit of the doubt that they've like started to look like a little bit better. You know, they look more organized, and I think their map pool right now, in the sense of being able to pick the control that they want to pick, and also be in the hard points that the hard points that they're probably going to play are pretty good. I think this is in a good spot for them. So I'm personally thinking that I think Optic's going to win this. I just think it's this control that's going to be the swing for them. No matter what happens, I think they're going to be in a really, really good spot in this series. So if they win one of the first 2 maps, I think they go up 2-1. If they win both, then if they 3-0. And then obviously, even if they lose both, I think they can still potentially force that game 5, you know? I think this control is going to be a really big thing for Optic right now for Seattle. Because Seattle's controls, they're 2-2 in Tuscan. They're not looking elite at Tuscan, and Optic looks really good at it. We'll see. So I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to Seattle. I still think this is going to be, to Optic, but I do think this is going to be an incredible series. And yeah, we just talked a lot about Call of Duty. And as you guys know, I talk a lot, and I like to always look at both sides of the argument, or like both sides of like, whatever we're talking about, and see like both things. As you can see, I'm going back and forth with stats and stuff. I don't know. That's just how I like to do it. I know I talk a lot and I apologize, but it was fun. So yeah, those are our predictions. So I think our predictions right now, I'm going a close series London. I'm going a close series Thieves. And then I'm going Texas. And I think this series could be close. It could be. But I think this series would be the one that might not be if Texas wins one of the, if Texas wins, starts off hot. If they start off slow, then I think it can be a closer series. And either way, Seattle is definitely manageable in order to win this. But I do think Texas has got the momentum right now. And I think Seattle doesn't. And I think that's a big thing. But this week off the thing that's weird about the momentum I'm talking about is like this week off's weird though. What if this week off Texas hasn't been playing well in scrims and Seattle has, or the vice versa? Seattle's been playing even worse in scrims and Seattle, and Texas is using that confidence and fucking smashing people in scrims. Like this week off is weird, dude. This week off is weird. Very weird. We'll see. It definitely throws a wrench into the momentum.